Welcome to the latest episode of WSP's Anticipate podcast. I'm your host, Shashi Narayanan, a Sustainability Associate from WSP's Property and Buildings team in the Middle East. As the world counts down to FIFA World Cup 2022, Qatar is setting the global standard for building sustainably. This tournament is also set to change the way future World Cup competitions and other sporting mega events are planned, organised, hosted and delivered. To celebrate 500 days until the World Cup, this Anticipate episode will explore how Qatar is championing the sustainable legacy of the next World Cup and blazing a trail for green solutions that deliver benefits well beyond this landmark event. It's an honour to be joined today by engineer Badur Elmir, who's the Sustainability Director at Qatar's Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy. Engineer Badur, welcome and thank you for joining us today. Could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and your role at the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy?
Thank you, Shashi. I am a Qatari engineer. I was born and raised here in Doha. I have seen the tremendous development of our country. I'm a mechanical engineer. I graduated from Qatar University. Previously, I worked as an environmental engineer in the oil and gas sector. And then I have moved to the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, which is a government committee responsible for preparing the country to host the FIFA World Cup here next year, inshallah. We are also responsible for making sure the event will leave a positive legacy. I am leading the sustainability team in the Supreme Committee since 2015. I am responsible for the development and implementation of the host country delivery against the environmental component of the FIFA World Cup sustainability program. And we have a great sustainability team that extends to our partners in FIFA and in their local organization here called Qatar 2022, and throughout our supply chain, including people like you and the WSP team who are doing a great job delivering the vision on the ground.
Could you tell us about the sustainable strategy that has been created alongside FIFA? I understand this is the first time that a joint sustainability strategy has been put forward in this way.
Yes, this is the first time that FIFA partnered with the host nation to develop a detailed sustainability strategy. This allows us to look at the preparation, the event, and also at the legacy. This is so important for us. I regularly receive feedback from other event and other sports sustainability professionals suggesting that this is something new and good and something that will be followed by others in the future. We have really enjoyed the process of partnering with FIFA on this, and the joint delivery and the close collaboration between the teams allows us to have a much wider reach and more positive impact.
I've studied the sustainability strategy and it's a very impressive document. It contains very clear requirements and multifaceted criteria which are being brought to life this very day at Ras Bubood Stadium. This was a former Qatar petroleum site. Could you tell us a bit more about the efforts that went into getting this site prepared for the stadium and its precinct?
Yes, you are right. This was the old QP headquarters, and there was a beach club too. The site is really amazing, right on the beach, close to the city and close to the airport. We decided to keep some of the old buildings as they have cultural heritage. The site also had quite a lot of mature trees, which we were able to transplant on site to our nursery. These trees are now being replanted in other World Cup stadium sites. One section of the site was used for refueling of the boats and other light industrial uses. There was soil contamination in those areas, and we were able to decontaminate these areas and leave a legacy for a clean site for future generations to enjoy.
Yes, this waterfront location is going to be very attractive for future residential and commercial uses. I think there are some exemplary actions that have taken place to prepare the site for the tournament and its facilities. WSP is proud to be delivering construction supervision at Ras Bubood Stadium. This stadium will be the first totally demountable venue in the history of the World Cup. Can you tell us a bit more about how this venue is setting a benchmark for sustainable construction practices?
This stadium is amazing. It's a solution that allowed customized prefabrication, which is a real trend in the construction. and something that has a lot of benefits as well. Components built in a factory environment allows much better control of waste and noise and etc. With a demountable solution, we were able to take this down after the World Cup and utilize its component for other uses in other countries.
There's a lot of excitement around carbon neutral aspirations for the World Cup. Can you tell me how the stadiums contribute to this target, and what lasting legacy do you envision this having on the way buildings are created in the whole of Qatar?
Okay, I think all of our stadiums contribute to new ways of designing and building in the country and perhaps even in the region. We have pushed the boundary in many different ways, sustainability being one of them. For example, we set out to achieve 4-star GSAS certification, but have been able to push to 5 stars on several of our projects. With Ras Bo Aboud Stadium, this is something different, something special. Given it is largely prefabricated, I think that could be something that can be brought forward and inspire others. It is faster, it is cheaper, and it is safer. Well, carbon neutrality is one of our 22 focus areas in our sustainability strategy, and we have done a lot. For example, the World Cup will be solar powered, and an 800 megawatt solar power plant is currently under construction and will be able to supply more than enough power to run the official World Cup stadiums. It will also deliver clean power to the grid for many, many years to come. Also, our public transportation will be a key operational aspect of the event. This transportation is largely electric, with the new state-of-art, the Doha Metro, a new fleet of electric buses, some electric cars, even some electric scooters. All our new stadiums have been designed to meet the green building requirements, as we have mentioned earlier, in GSAS, delivering 40% energy use reduction compared to the ASHRAE standard. We have also done very detailed greenhouse gas footprint analysis.
One of the first things people associate with when discussing environmental sustainability issues is the handling of waste. The Supreme Committee recently released a study conducted with the Gulf Organization for Research and Development. In what way has this unique publication changed the perception of how this important process is handled for the tournament?
We set targets in our contracts to meet certain waste diversion rates during construction. We believe we have set a new benchmark in terms of construction waste recycling, achieving average of 80% recycling rate across our entire program, and with some sites over 90%. We wanted to share practical tips and case studies with others. So we partnered with GORD to prepare a document that explains what we did and gives a lot of practical advice on how to achieve these results. Hopefully, many projects will beat the numbers that we achieved in the future. This document is based on case studies as well as best practices documented by sustainability managers working on the sites. This is very valuable information, and I encourage everyone to take a moment, stop and document what you are doing. Some photos and a few sentences describing what is done is all that is needed. This document is available for free to anyone. We also have similar document about managing dust on construction sites.
You referred to the Global Sustainability Assessment System, GSAS. I myself have been supporting the delivery of GSAS process for the Supreme Committee, making sure contractors comply with the stringent requirements and obligations of the certification. How do you think this sustainability certification has impacted the way stadiums are being delivered? In what way is this manifesting in terms of delivery for both building design and for construction management?
Well, green building certification schemes like GSAS provide guiding principles and tangible targets. Achieving these certifications really allows us to focus on a common goal. One of the strategy objectives is to achieve GSAS certification for all of the stadiums. We are using 3 different GSAS schemes to certify the design of the building and the construction process and the operations. Not only are the buildings efficient as a result of this program, but there is a whole new group of professionals specializing in green construction and design now. They have benefited from our program as well as other large-scale developments in Qatar using green building certifications. Mega projects like Doha Metro, Sharab, and Lusail, to just name a few. This new knowledge is an important legacy of our program.
The World Cup promises to set benchmarks that will act as a precedent for future global competitions. Can you share some of the key highlights related to the visible sustainability features of the 2022 stadiums?
All of our stadiums are energy efficient, which is achieved through, as I said, a combination of solutions such as good insulation, super efficient equipment, and sophisticated building controls. The LED lighting throughout, including the sports lights, the big effort tracking and the selection of the materials. All seats were, for example, manufactured locally here in Qatar. We have also placed big emphasis on minimizing any impacts from the construction activities, waste recycling, dust and noise control, etc.
The innovation that has gone into cooling the stadiums is quite profound. The existing available standards for air conditioning in sports facilities are all based on European and North American design standards, which would not work in the environments that we experience in the Middle East. The engineers and scientists that have been examining this issue have had to define their own unique performance standards to provide thermally comfortable stadium environments. How do you feel about how sustainability has influenced the materials used in the stadiums?
It's worth mentioning that sustainability influenced the choice of materials as well. As I said, materials are a very important category in sustainability. All the stadiums has used the materials with some recycled content. I'd like, since you have mentioned the air conditioning the stadiums, I'd like to share this story. The earlier design of Al Bayt Stadium was having a black roof. This would have absorbed more heat, more cooling, and less. It was, of course, less sustainable. We have requested the management to change the color to improve the sustainability, and now you can see the stadium with white roof. And I would like to also say that the senior management has been very supportive on sustainability.
There was a similar situation at the Education City Stadium where it was originally visualized as the black diamond in the desert. The actual color of the facade now is more of an iconic light silver. This addresses some of the overheating issues and gives the stadium's cooling systems a chance to deliver the cooling that's required.
Yes, you are right. The design of the stadium as well plays a big role in air conditioning the stadium. For example, as you said, the Education City Stadium, the angles of the facade, the way they have the engineers designed it to absorb less heat as well.
You mentioned the material aspect of the stadium design. Ras Abood Stadium has recycled content in its construction, with recycled steel being used in its structural frame. The actual provenance of the materials have been thoroughly examined in terms of where they're coming from, whether or not the processes within the production facilities are sustainably driven, and if there is an environmental and management approach to how the production of the different materials is realized. Also, with the demountability strategy, the GSAS certification looks at this as an option for consideration in terms of the ability of the asset to be disassembled and reused in the future. Ras Abood Stadium is a prime example of how this can be done, and the modularity that we're seeing on the stadium is really helping to define how this kind of facility can exist in multiple places in the future. How do you see the potential new configurations that have been envisioned in other locations?
With mega events becoming increasingly bigger and more emphasis is placed on legacy, I am sure modular temporary solutions will be part of more events in the future. The solution has sometimes been described as similar to an old circus tent. These were moved with the event from town to town. The scale is obviously very different, but why not? The location of the stadium is next to our old port, so using shipping containers as one of the key components was a way to acknowledge the location and the heritage of the site. Our friends at FIFA are interested in this solution. Currently, FIFA and we are doing calculations together to better understand. Being a carbon neutral tournament, we want to understand the real carbon benefits from the solution. So we are doing some calculations together to really understand the impact on the carbon.
From an environment and sustainability perspective, how would you like the first ever FIFA World Cup in the Middle East to be remembered? What is the most important, lasting, and enduring legacy that you feel will be remembered for the host population of Qatar and the tournament visitors from all over the world?
Well, of course, I want it to be remembered as an amazing event, as a game changer, as a once in a lifetime opportunity. I want it to be remembered as a supercharger for positive change, as a goal scored for everyone. Now, when it comes to the legacy, it depends on people. Like different people will remember different things. For example, if professionals like us will remember the experience that we gained from working in such mega event. And the sports sector, of course, they will remember the stadiums as a legacy of this tournament. The people in Qatar in general will remember the infrastructure and the whole experience that's new here in Qatar. So it depends on the person and his interest in terms of legacy and what the person will remember. It depends on your interest.
It's amazing to see the sustainability vision come to life as we mark 500 days to the 2022 World Cup. On behalf of WSP, we're proud to be part of the delivery of a tournament that is setting new standards for environmental sustainability and influencing the way future global events are held. Engineer Budur, thank you again for joining us today. You've provided a memorable overview of the different advances that are happening on the road to 2022.
We are already proud of the work that have been delivered so far, and hopefully we can all enjoy the matches in 2022 and celebrating our success.